What's up, Capstone family? This is Drummond coming at you on this January the 21st of 2022. We are now 3 weeks into the year and have already been seeing some amazing things compared to going into 2021. We've seen a lot more people that were on the fence maybe through 2020, not want to buy. Now everybody's coming out of the woodwork realizing that this is the time to get into the market if they hadn't already. I think the scare of interest rates increasing has definitely gotten people off the fence, and they're out in droves. Unfortunately for them, again, the market is what it is, and inventory is at historic lows. We're still less than 6,000 active properties on the market, and it's just crazy out there. Few things this week that came to our attention that I wanted to bring up. One interesting thing, on Thursday, had an opportunity to sit in on a Zoom call that went over water allocation for Arizona. It was with somebody who's a part of the Central Arizona Project, CAP. His name was Ben Graff. I took copious notes because he was jamming through all kinds of slides, and I was like, oh my gosh, I kept taking pictures of these slides. My big takeaway from it is that Arizona is not yet in a dire position as a whole because of the amazing plan that we have in place compared to other states. Arizona has a huge watershed. We've got a lot of groundwater. There is groundwater, replenishment that happens regularly. That's a part of the plan. And Arizona seems to be pretty with it, with knowing what's what and how to, avoid what could happen if we get to a tier 2 drought, water restriction from Lake Mead. Right now we're in the tier 1, and it has definitely forced a lot of change in Arizona, but not to residential. Isn't that interesting? No residential, no industrial has been affected by this tier 1 water shortage. All that's been affected, 65% reduction pulled back from agriculture. So that was my biggest takeaway. If we hit, I guess right now, we went under that 1,075 feet water line. If we get down past the 1,050 foot water line at Lake Mead, then we'll hit a tier 2. But the gentleman that was on the call let us know that that doesn't look very, very probable here in the next few years because of the plan that we have in place and what that looks like. So fingers crossed there, but that sounds really good, especially with all the growth that we've got going on. One of the things that we're definitely dealing with this month a lot is rentals and the turnover. If you haven't increased your rents over the last few years, there is a high probability that your rents are so much higher than you could expect that at the end of the day, it becomes a balancing act. You increase the rents to a certain point, and that tenant's no longer going to be able to live there. So what's the cost of that turn, and how much is that turn going to cost you to turn the property, clean it up, put it back on the market, let it sit vacant for a month after cleanup, and then rent it again? So if you've lost a month or two in rents plus the cost of cleaning it up, which, hey, if you've had a tenant that's lived in a property more than a couple of years, there's a high chance that you're going to be doing at least the bare minimum of a few $1,000s. More than likely, you're going to be repainting, and you're going to be doing all these other things too. So keep in mind, we're definitely talking through numbers with people, and you are our clients. You are the ones who, we have your backs, but we're going to shoot you straight. We're going to give it to you real and let you know, hey, if this tenant is absolutely amazing, this may be the person to hold on to and do what you can to, make it work, but within reason, right? So there's always that stipulation in there that says, it's got to be within reason, and if the tenant just can't make it to even close to what fair market rents are right now, it might be the time to evaluate your options and figure out what that's going to look like. I think with that piece of it, we need to play devil's advocate in those situations with you all, to having those harder conversations. Again, you're our client, not the tenant. the tenant we need to treat fairly. We need to make sure that they're taken care of. And honestly, like the team here, I value how much we take care of our tenants over other companies, right? Our tenants tell us this, right? It's great, but we're very direct with them and we let them know that they're not our client, right? But at the same time, I think I'm talking out of different places right now, but as long as we treat them fairly and we're just super honest with them, like that's all we can do, right? That's our job. I had a great conversation with somebody this week about this test that we give people. It's called the Culture Index, and it's a survey that we give people before they start, and it helps us understand who they are and what their traits are. And one of those things that it evaluates is where is that person from the emotional spectrum to the logic spectrum? Where are they on that spectrum? More on the emotional side or more on the logical side? And I joke with people because here I can't be emotional. I can't go off the emotion. Like I am an emotional person. On the culture index, though, I'm much more on the logic side. So I have to keep that logic. If I can keep that and stay in the black and white, then we're in a good place. Because at the end of the day, I'm not paid to feel emotion for what's happening. We've got to follow the code. We've got to follow the numbers, right? We got to follow the Landlord Tenant Act. We've got to follow everything that's in place, because that's our job, right? We can still have feelings about it. We can still let people know, but at the end of the day, it is what it is in property management. And that's one of the things I like about it. If we do one thing for one person, we have to do it for the next. So a lot of our mindset and thinking behind the scenes comes from that. Let's see. From the water issue, another takeaway that I had from that conversation, getting back to that quickly, Rio Verde. If you have a property in Rio Verde, then your water issues are different. Rio Verde has been getting water from Scottsdale for the longest time, trucked in, and that's going to change. So if you have a place in Rio Verde and you have questions about that, definitely reach out and I can put you in touch with people that can help you in that situation. Right now, we are, again, seeing a lot of cash hitting this market. It looks like people are really trying to hedge against inflation, really using real estate as that tool. And again, we're seeing a lot of those big players back in the market right now more than ever. I mean, this week was super, super busy, which is good. But at the end of the day, the hard position right now is for first-time home buyers and entry-level home buyers. And the question becomes, what does that person do? What's going to happen there? So I think that's going to be, moving forward, a question that we're going to need to be able to answer, and hopefully better than that opportunity is just lost for them, right? Hopefully we can come up with some sort of solution that makes it realistic for people to, again, experience the American dream, feel like they can own a piece of where they're at, right? I think that's an amazing feeling for people to be able to have. And hopefully the market going up so fast and so hot is not going to deter people from being able to purchase, especially when they're just getting started. Hope this stuff helps. I know it's a lot. This week was definitely a lot of interesting things that are happening and ramping up to this new year and seeing that there's so much that's coming. It does feel like we're in a space right now that Phoenix is really emerging. It's really changing. It's really growing up. It's feeling, we're feeling this air of a place that's like big city and a lot of changes and a lot of different perspectives. And it's definitely different than it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 20 years ago. It's an interesting, cool place to be. Cool. Hope this helps. Hope you have an amazing weekend. We are, in the middle of Arizona beautiful weather, so everything cool is happening here over the next month or so, from Barrett Jackson Auto Auction to the Phoenix Open, which is always a great time. If you're planning on being in Phoenix, please look us up. Let us know. We'd love to have you in the office. Everybody through here now, we're fully staffed as of this week. Everything's looking good, and we're ready to run, but we'd love to prepare for you to be in office. We'll mask up and look forward to seeing you. Thanks.